Hey guys, Justin here with AmericanMuscle.com. Today we're taking a closer look at these Pro Series LED taillights with the black housings and the lightly smoked lenses, available for all 2016 through 2018 Camaros. Now you guys should be checking out these options for your 6th gen if you'd like to go with a slightly more modern option for your ride, but more importantly, you'd like to introduce more of an aggressive look to the rear end thanks to the combination of things like the black housing paired up with that smoke lens. Now, when getting into the features here with the Pro Series taillights, the biggie will be the radical change in appearance from those mild-mannered, almost boring stock red taillights to a much darker, much more sinister smoke look thanks to the smoke lenses. Now, aside from that, these lights will feature a 100% LED operation, which will not only increase the appearance of the lights, but also things like your visibility, even considering the dark smoke lenses, which is always nice to point out because better visibility from the rear means more safety at the end of the day. Now, the cherry on top here, guys, will be that sequential turn signal functionality that takes these Pro Series options to the next level overall when compared to some of your other options you'll find here on the site. Now, hardware aside, I think the general consensus is that the 16 through 18 style taillights aren't really the most desirable, if you will, especially when you compare them to the 2019 Plus models. So by smoking them out and adding some high-powered LEDs with the sequential signals, I think it really does make these a much more appealing option compared to those boring factory taillights. Now, moving into construction, and I will say the Pro Series LED taillights for your Camaro are easily on par, if not even a step above those stock taillights from a build standpoint, and that's always a good thing to point out because that's not always going to be the case when we're talking about aftermarket taillights. Now, for starters here, guys, you are looking at a very durable black housing, and again, that has been topped off with a very lightly smoked polycarbonate lens. Other options will certainly be a little bit darker, which, you know, will certainly deliver a more aggressive look, but that starts to cut down on your total light output. I think these are just the right amount of smoked, in my humble opinion. Now, that polycarbonate lens does have a UV resistant coating kind of baked in to help prevent any fading over the years. And the factory taillights here, or I'm sorry, the aftermarket taillights do utilize a factory style plug and play connection, which will make the install of these much easier at the end of the day. And we're going to show you that here in a little bit. Now, these guys have been given the DOT and SAE stamp of approval, and that does make them legal for use in all 50 states. Now, your price point for the Pro Series taillights here are gonna land in that mid $500 ballpark, which will put these, I would say, in the middle of the pack between options like the Morimoto XBs, kind of on the lower side of the price point. And then you have options like the Auto Addict options, those OLED. They're gonna round out the upper end of the spectrum here when we're talking about taillights for the 16 through 18 Camaros. But now let's shift gears and get into the installation portion of our video here, gang. And site's gonna call this one a soft 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. About an hour to complete from start to finish thanks to that plug and play design. Now, I consider it a soft 1 out of 3 wrenches because if you've done taillights on a 6th gen before, you know what I mean, right? You move a few trim panels out of the way, you gain access to all the nuts. Again, this is a plug and play taillight, so it's gonna make it for a very easy day in the garage or driveway for you. But now to show you just how easy it's gonna be, why don't we check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need a ratchet, 8mm socket, and a clip removal tool. What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be doing some taillights on our Camaro, but before we get started, we're gonna send you to watch a short video on how to uninstall your factory setup, and we'll see you when you get back.
So our first step is gonna be to remove these plastic trim panels on the top of the taillights. Now we have 3 push clips here. Now I'm gonna get a clip remover tool to remove. So next we can come into the trunk right behind our taillight, and we have 1 tree clip that we'll have to remove. So I'll grab a clip remover tool and pop that out. Now we can pull back on our trunk liner, which will expose our nuts. We have 2 right up front here, and then there's 1 that's tucked back here in the corner. So now we can grab an 8mm socket to remove our first 2 nuts. now our last one's gonna be tucked behind this bracket. It's a little hard to see. It's gonna be that same 8mm socket. So now we're just gonna grab the taillight with even pressure and pull straight back, but don't pull too hard because we still have our wiring harness to disconnect. And then we can push up on the red tab and then press the black tab to disconnect it. And now once we have our first taillight removed, we can do that same procedure on the other side.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to take off your factory taillights, it's time to go on with our new set. Now for this set in particular, these do offer a little bit of advanced functionality. So you'll notice on the back side of your taillight, you do have a power switch here, as well as two yellow wires on the connector, which are unplugged or plugged in. You're going to want to connect your main harness first, which we'll show you, and then plug these two in as part of the energizing process of these taillights. Now this power switch here activates or deactivates the sequential turn signal function of these taillights. So if you want sequential, you just turn this on. Not sequential, just leave it off, and it's a solid strip, as we'll show you in the demonstration. So now that we have that all out of the way, we can go ahead and throw this new taillight into place. So now we can go ahead and plug our connector into the vehicle side of our factory harness. Make sure that snaps into place. And we'll go ahead, latch our red safety clip in. Then we're going to go ahead and plug these bullet connectors together for our yellow wires. And we're going to turn our sequential function on for now. Then we'll show you how that looks on and off. We're going to make sure our harness isn't going to be in the way of any of our mounting points here. Go ahead and line up all of our mounting studs and slide these into place. Just make sure your connector's not getting jammed. And set that in. Then we can move back here and go ahead and reinstall our factory 18mm mounting nuts. Now we'll go ahead and get our 8mm nuts back into place here. Start with this far one here. Get our two over on this side. Remember, your two studs out in the back here are in an orange plastic sheath, so they don't get mounting nuts. We'll grab our ratchet and our 8mm socket and tighten these down. Once we have that done, go ahead and get our liner back into place here. We can reinstall our push pin. Hold this in. So that's tucked back in there. Ours is a little sloppy due to previous installs and stuff. That's right back into place. Once we have that done, we can go ahead and install our trim cover here. Now we'll go ahead and set our trim cover back on. Reinstall our push pins here. Then once you have this complete for this side, you can go ahead and repeat these same steps for the other side. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Pro Series LED taillights and jet black housings and smoke lenses for your 16 to 18 Camaro. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Camaro, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.